It's your boy Sam back here with another video. The sad part about this whole video I'm about to record is I just recorded the whole video. But I had to re-record it because since I recorded it, my team had the audacity to edit and update their tweet. When this video, or when this tweet first came out, it said win 15 clutch time online games to earn Joe Johnson. So I was like, okay, are they just gonna make this able to, like, everybody able to get it, but then it kind of ruins the Gauntlet vibe? And I was like, is there just gonna be a high reward? Like, I didn't know for sure, but I talked about it a ton in my video. And then they just have the audacity to update the tweet, basically forcing me to re-record my whole video. But anyways, sorry, that's my soapbox. But here we are, okay? The Gauntlet is back. 15 clutch time online games, which is going to take you a very long time in a row to earn Joe Johnson. I'm going to start this video off by saying this. If Joe Johnson isn't the best shooting guard in the game tomorrow, I will be surprised. I will be surprised. Why? Because if you go clean, not lose one game, it's at minimum going to take you an hour and 40, hour and 50 minutes to get this done. That is a long grind for a card that is average. I'm telling you, he is going to have to be ridiculously good. Now, also, let's say you win 7 games, then have to restart, then win 7. Like, it's going to take a long time. I'd go as far as to saying, I don't even recommend this for a lot of you guys out there, because at least in Triple Threat Online, games go a lot quicker for the most part. And so even if you win, if you lose, I mean, you're getting through games way faster than Clutch Time Online. So it's going to take longer. It's the first thing I got to talk about. Second thing I want to talk about, what does Joe Johnson, what is he going to look like? Well, let's pull up the Pink Diamond Joe Johnson of last year, in which we saw him on October 11th. Today is November 7th, so expect a way better card. But this card was 6'7", had a 91 3-ball, 87 speed, good lateral quickness, solid defensively. Best part about the card was his shooting ability. Now with that, he had the Brandon Ingram base on normal timing. We just saw Brandon Ingram this year. That release is okay. JxmyHighroller style normal leader. Now, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. It's okay. But are those the stats? Is that what we need to see? The animations of the best shooting guard in the game? No. I mean, he's going to need to be better than this card right here in Paul George. Otherwise, I can't even make the case he's really worth grinding or worth getting. And Paul George is absolutely elite. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say 2K is going to do something with this Joe Johnson. Because even when Chris Bosh came out, he could do a little bit of everything. And if we compare him to the Chris Bosh we saw the year prior, Pink Diamond Chris Bosh, I do believe. I mean, the Chris Bosh we saw this year was way better. So I'm expecting kind of the same thing, in which Joe Johnson is going to get the Brandon Ingram base, which is fine. I don't hate that release at all. It's a fine release. But I expect his defense to be next level good. And I was thinking about this, and I'm like, you know what? What if we look at Joe Johnson at the small forward position? What if 2K really soups up his defense and we look at him at the small forward position? Because he is not going to be a guy, and this I'm going to actually look and see. I don't think we got a Joe Johnson yet this year. But Joe Johnson is not going to be a guy to be your primary ball handler. His player model is too wide for that. It's just not going to work out. And so I got to thinking, what about him at the small forward position? 6'7", wide player model. If defensively he's good, he's going to have to be way better than this. Maybe that's where he belongs. Maybe that's where he's going to be that next level good, is at that small forward position. Because the shooting guard position with MJ, B-Roy, with all those guys, I just don't know where Joe Johnson really fits in. I guess the way I personally tend to think about things with Joe Johnson is, if 2K is going to make us win 15 clutch time games in a row, he needs to be better for his time than Chris Bosh was. And I need you guys to really think about what I just told you. He needs to be better for his time than Chris Bosh was. If 2K wants to keep this exciting Gauntlet reward happening, he needs to be better for his time than Chris Bosh was. And at the time Chris Bosh came out, sure we had AD, sure we had Shaq, but that's about it as far as big men. I mean, Chris Bosh for his time was so good. And so I'm hoping that 2K does something with Joe Johnson, because tomorrow I want the community excited to load up Clutch Time Online. And when I say the community, the comp type of guys that don't even load up the game anymore since 250 is gone. Obviously, if you're not good at the game, I wouldn't, if I'm not good at the game, I'm not excited to load up the game tomorrow. I'm not, because this is going to be all sweats and clutch time. But Joe Johnson needs to be that next level good. These are the types of events. These are the types of things that gets the community excited about the game. And if tomorrow we load up the game and Joe Johnson is mid, he's not better than MJ, he's not better than Paul George, that just ruins it all. And so that's what I'm really hoping for. In my first video talked a ton about, well, you know, if it's not 15 in a row, that's great for, you know, everybody else in the community, but it ruins the whole point of what the Gauntlet is supposed to be like. Now, I will say this. In the agendas for the Gauntlet, I hope there's like 3 steps. Maybe at 5 wins in a row, you get, I don't even know, 10, 15, 20,000 MT or a player, whatever they want to give you. Or heck, just give us a I don't know, 10 box base pack of the recently packs, of the recent Showtime packs. I don't know, 10 wins, give us to 100,000 MT, something special. And then a 15 wins Joe Johnson. That way you incentivize each and every level and not just 15 or bust. That way if you get to 10 and lose, you're still somewhat rewarded. That's just another thing that I think 2K could implement that would be really good for this whole Gauntlet point in general. I just don't know about Joe Johnson because last year I feel like his stamina was bad. He couldn't be a primary ball handler. So I don't know. I'm just not... I don't want to sit here and gas Joe Johnson all for him to not be great. Just because I've seen it before. Joe Johnson in my team, you get excited about him, and then he's not as good as you think he would be. 2 years ago, jump shot 38, shifty dribble style. This is the card that literally needed air on the court at all times. Like, he could not run for very long because he would lose so much stamina. And obviously, the Joe Johnson we're going to get tomorrow is not going to be this good. But I'm just hoping for good defense. Give him good defense, and we can make him work. Good defense, good shooting. The rest of it can honestly happen as it comes. I don't really care, but his stats, badges, animations need to be just as good, if not better, than PG's, than MJ's. And across the board, he needs to be one of the best shooting guards in the game. Am I excited that it's Joe Johnson? I mean, not really. I'm really not excited about Joe Johnson as far as, like, if you were to tell me, Ty, you could either have Joe Johnson or another random Gauntlet reward, I would say, yeah, let's have another random one. But it is what it is. If they make this card right, he could still be that next level, absolutely elite in my team. I'm really eager to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Are you guys glad that you have to win 15 games in a row, or were you guys excited that it wasn't 15 games in a row and that you guys could grind it out yourselves? And do you think Joe Johnson is going to make that best team in my team? For me, I just don't know. I have a hard time seeing Joe Johnson be better than MJ or Paul George, but hopefully I'm surprised as I was with Chris Bosh tomorrow. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you're doing as always, man. I love you guys. Have a blessed day.